All right. Let's get some music for the Twitch people going. Well, let's get into it. Oh, hopefully I remembered. Let me double check. I think last stream I forgot to turn on public for my YouTube, which was a bit insane. At least that's what I'm thinking, unless today ends up being the exact same way, at which point, what the hell? We'll find out. But we got things to do. Kya. Actually added another light. I think I kind of want to get... I want to get the white on where the fire is going to be. These are still not glued in, which is good. So we've got a lot to do there. I'm gonna get some white down, touch up the cherubs. We usually go back through and fix up the gold. So I'm not super worried about it. So Reikland's going to be a big one for a lot of this. Inside the statue reliefs, up and down the pipe here. But I think we're going to open with getting all the bolt gun metal onto where it needs to be. Once I get this flatted. New Defiler, though. As well as the big reveal that Emperor's Children is apparently going to have access to the Defiler now. Still a few things I'm wondering about. Most people are saying that it's on the same old base size that it was. Which, I mean, I could see. And if that's the case, that base is big enough that there's almost no reason to run more than one of them. That is too much of a unit to, like, be on field. I mean, granted, you could throw one into reserve, and that's a scary prospect. Although that base is big enough that you're most likely coming in from reserve on your own side of the field. There's not a lot of situation involving you being able to pull that thing in if enemies are kind of spread out along the table edge. Is it about to be a weirdly lonely Monday? It might be. Hell yeah. Get the other one moving. Pretty sure I have Ardcoat, so once we get to the headlights, we'll be able to set it up with Ardcoat over top of it. Give it that feeling of actually being a lens. It went from 12 degrees yesterday to 45 degrees today, about, according to my car. Wild shifts. One of my buddies is talking about like getting geared up and ready for tournament play. I don't know if he's going to be ready by the like anytime within range of like 10th still being out. We'll probably be an 11th. But he was a pretty avid tournament goer back when we were in 5th edition, so could be good to get a tourney buddy. We'll see though. Married life might make it not the easiest. I've learned to meter my expectations. Would be cool to get them up and running before too many games in a couple months for that tourney. Because that's an easy tourney. That's a pretty... It's a whatever tourney. And that's actually very close to him, I think. So, like, he'd be easy enough getting there on a Saturday. Maybe that'll be the plan. Operation get my friend ready for a tournament in 2 months. Speaking of which, I do need to look it up. If I'm not mistaken, the last time I remembered, like 2 months in advance for this tournament. Oh, I kind of want to look it up now. The last time this happened, I was like, oh yeah, let me sign up for that. And it was 2 months out and it was full. And I kept checking back every couple days for drops. Eventually they expanded their player pool by like 10. So I was able to get in. And then like 15 people dropped, which was insane. Like that's an insane number of drops in a single tournament. The last one I just did had like 2 drops. But for like a fairly sizable tournament at a pretty big convention to just be like 15 people dropped, that's absolutely insane. I mean, it worked out because when I was there, I looked at the area they had set up for play, and there were not enough tables for as many people as they claimed they were okay with. Like, I remember walking by that area and being like, what the deuce? And having to check my phone and then count the tables, and immediately I was like, yeah, we're not. There's no way. I wonder if that group has a pretty consistent amount of people who sign up for their events and then just don't go. So they just assumed. I think we had one more table than required for the actual final count. It is cool, though, talking to that TO at the last RTT about the potential for him trying to do a double GT involving both Big Hammer 40K and Kill Team. So that could end really well. Because the place he's planning on holding it as a venue is actually really big. And they just expanded the area they have for their playing tables. Still so weird that the Goonhammer guy was at this tournament. That still blows me away. It's like, what the hell, man? What is up with the area I live in? I wonder how long the new Discord policy is going to be in place. The whole all new people are going to be considered teen. Older accounts might be marked as teen based on whether or not something built into the system determines that they're not a teen. And that they want you to like upload your ID. Which is wild for a company that gets hacked on like a near monthly basis to like require of its people and the users. Give us all your info. Yeah, we were hacked again. Don't worry about it though. Just give us all your info. All right. I feel like it's going to be a slow Monday, which could be good. I do need to try to get most of this done. What's next? I don't think we go... I think we try to focus more on, like, maintaining the layer stuff more than anything else. So we can go into bolt gun. We can do the bone tone that we're going to put on the, like, parchments. Maybe we do that. Maybe we get the bone tone going. Because we got a lot of parchment to start up with it. We're young. Make sure. We are going to also have to hit with some corrective burgundy in some spots, I think. We'll have to do that at the very end, though. Just do a once-over. We're gonna let that dry a little bit and then go back to hit it again. I need it to be more flat than that. The flatness. The flat requirement. let me go get some water in this bottle. We need it. Bam. But yeah, this up front here gets hit with sepia. We're gonna have to fix the gold clips as well. Painting's going good so far, Peacock. We're just going into the detail moments, back and forth between tanks, keeping them in parity with each other. That way we will hopefully be done both. On the side, I've been slowly building these up. My buddy had like 40 of these or something. I think it's 20... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like 25-ish of the units that kind of need to be painted the same way like that. So I'm trying to get those done just kind of like casually off stream. Usually throw something on to watch. Get them done. Which is a sizable chunk of the infantry. And if I can get those done in the next couple days, it's going to feel really good looking at my giant, like, caddy that I've got with all of his stuff on it. because then a hefty portion of it's going to be complete. Bunch of the tanks. Bunch of the infantry. Do it. Do it, Peacock. We're going to have to paint a Defiler in my Emperor's Children style. We're going to have to see if we can magnetize it, too. Honestly, it's probably going to end up being dual las cannons and then whatever the best gun is for the chest mount. Because holy crap, that army needs some kind of decent output from ranged. There's a chance I might actually go out and get another Noise Marine squad too, just so I can paint that at the same time. So I can have all 3 Noise Marine squad potentials. Nice. Yeah, my buddy's tearing through his Necrons. Trying to get them all set. I think I'm in operation. Gonna try to get my buddy prepped and ready for a tournament in like a couple months. I don't know if he's gonna be there though. I think it could be cool, but he's probably gonna be too busy. Weirdly, it would be like the best shot to get him up and running to play. There's probably even a world where I find out like he lives close to the convention I'm going to, so I could just stay at his house and like teach him stuff over the course of the convention. Get him prepped the night before kind of situation. Actually, in a second here, I might take a minute to browse through my phone. See if I can find that tournament. Sign up for it. Then we'll get into the Leadbelcher. How's everyone doing? Anyone else having some fun projects? Getting through some fun things? Anybody excited about those Defilers? I think they look okay. They're closer to a Venom Crawler, which means there is a bit more visual parity between all the tanks, so that's nice. Search. $40K. February, March, April. Let's go to 75 miles. Do not include online. Search. Day is this what day is the convention? It's gonna be big. Oh, it's in June. Okay. I will put my name on this list for a June tournament. If it's already up. Oh, no, it's not there yet. So I've got a little bit of time. Let me actually check their website, because sometimes they might do something different this time, where you have to sign up on the website and not through BCP. Content creator, defender, blah, blah, blah. Things to do. Gaming tournaments. Yep, they haven't added tabletop tournaments to the list. Oh, tabletop, here we are. Board game tournaments, board game free play miniatures. I'll look at board game tournaments. I don't think it should be there, though. Yeah, tournaments aren't in yet. Okay. All right, we've got some time. Let's get the bulk gun down. This is actually going to be a bit too, because this is the treads. This is the seat area. the seat opening thing here. There's a chance we're going to have to finish this tomorrow, because I am kind of on a schedule today. Should probably block in some of the stuff on the back with white as well. Might do that. Could be worth getting it set up. I do think white roses would be a better idea for the backs of this, so we might lean into that. Yeah, let's get some blocking and done back there just to do it before we go too much farther with the bolt gun. As the white is currently drying. So it's to the back of the chair. I noticed there was like a tablecloth coming down. So yet another shrine in the back of a tank. It makes my life miserable. just need to figure out what color we want this. Whether we want to keep it like a white cloth. Maybe I want to tinker with it. Because if it's going to be white roses, this could be like a red cloth. This could be a purple cloth. Tie it in with the rest of the infantry. Might even paint the table differently now that I see it. Probably gonna have to fix the shrine, but the table might be the same blue. The same like Leviathan blue I'm gonna make the piano. Catch this other tank up. Back to the lead belcher. Go back over that part. Quick reminder, when painting minis, you have a whole ass handle on a brush. You don't gotta choke it up. You don't gotta, get hyper close to get all the benefits out of it. Sometimes it's just about getting to the bristles to where they actually need to be. And if that requires you getting to the back end of the brush and just kind of like finagling it in, could be helpful. Alright, let's get the gun barrel. Gun barrel. We need to do these two little sections back here. So I like the idea of these being metal because they're on a kind of a recess, so it's sort of like there's an extra shell of something that's being built around, maybe like a subdermal shell of just general metal. Kind of like that idea. And I might want to grab one of my dry brushes for the treads. Fix all that up in a bit. Quick refresher. See how I did the okay, so the tread stuff is actually metal. Shbolt gun. There's also a pipe down here I gotta remember. And we gotta do the exhaust. That's right. I decided to do the missile exhausts in Vulcan metal as opposed to the gold. The exhausts. Bam. Exhausts. Can't remember if I was crazy enough to paint the entirety of the bottom of the treads on the other one. Check and verify. Nope. An absolutely okay corner to cut. I'm slow cooking potatoes and kielbasa for 6 hours with a bunch of like cheese. I'm starting to smell it. Oh, it's gonna be so delicious. You can kind of see this. It's just the stuff all the way at the bottom. It's probably worth not pushing too hard. I almost bought a on-foot Demon Prince today. I was at the store just checking to see what they had. Seeing if there's something I really wanted. And then I had the thought of just like getting the on-foot DP. Getting that prepped up for when I got the Defiler, so I could do that in the Defiler, finish out some EC stuff. Because honestly, an on-foot DP would just be in general good. Get that thing in a Peerless Bladesman list or something for the extra AP. Use it in that weird tandem combo with Lucius, where they both just give themselves Lone Op and hang out together. Name a more iconic duo. All right. One prepped. I wouldn't mind it, Sparksy. I just got to think of the content to make. If it's something enjoyable. I also got to get these commissions done. So it's like, I don't have all the time in the world. So making a good video while getting this commission type stuff done while working my actual job, it's not easy. Oh, thank you. Because as I've told others, I'm constantly at odds with the Bricky conundrum. Like, I'm nowhere close to, like, Bricky in scale. But the Bricky conundrum was, this is a game I enjoy playing. I would like to play it. And if I make content for it, I don't really have a lot of time to play it. I think it got to the point for him where he like bought a Let's Play channel that was already pretty well started because he figured he could do the Let's Play thing and get like a bunch more games in, just in general in his life. But then as he was doing it, he realized that actually no. It took a lot of effort, a lot of money, and most days when he did it, he would break even or he would basically be spending money to do that. Which was crazy. So, like, I would like to play. I would like to go to tournaments. And I got other stuff I have to do. In general. I wouldn't mind putting out more content. I just don't know what. The teams changed so much that doing the one-off team videos was like, it was cool at first, but I mean, we're in the realm of had I made like a Pathfinder video, right? There's now characters who have different abilities. So you watch my Pathfinder video, I talk about abilities that are on characters that are no longer a thing. That's just weird. So I gotta figure out something else to do. I just don't know what yet. But it's good you're enjoying Kill Team. I'm working with a couple local TOs, or at least one big TO who's trying to get into the GT market. He's doing Big Hammer GT, the 40k scale Big Hammer stuff for GTs, and he was actually asking me at this last Rogue Trader tournament I went to whether or not I thought it would be worth him trying to do a double event involving Kill Team and 40k Big Hammer stuff. Because he has a really big venue, and he doesn't know if he's going to be able to fill all the tables for 40k, like Big Hammer. So he was like, what do you think of the Kill Team stuff? And I was like, I know at least like 20 people who would be down. And then if we start pushing it in other areas, it could be big enough that people might, you know, be able to get finally a Kill Team GT locally. Like, or at least a GT scale Kill Team event, which could be cool. They have a Bamboo 3D printer that's pretty big, so he was talking about how it would be very easy for him to get all the terrain together for it. Since he's going to want to do, like, at least Vulkus, if not, like, a Vulkus and Tomb World thing, where people go back and forth between Vulkus and Tomb World. Nice. Yeah, I do RTDs right now. I'm not really amped for like a GT, especially not in my local area right off the rip. I've brought it up a few times on stream. You might have heard me say it, but we do have a lot of really high-end players local to me. So me going to a GT is me being like, I can't wait to be like bottom, right? Like I can't wait to fight for not quite last. I just went to an RTT that involved some like top 20 in the world players. One of the big guys from the Goonhammer website was actually running it. It was kind of awesome. And that was just a small scale tournament at a comic book store. So pretty sweet. At the very least, this last tournament, though, did kick out of my system the utter desire to run very meta lists. Like, I haven't really run a meta list at a tournament yet. I always try, like, the odd thing. But this time around, I was kind of talked into actually giving a crap about running a meta list. And I did so much better than I normally do. So much better. Poggers. What's up, Andy? I don't know. Maybe there could be value in a video of like the nuance of positioning, timings. I know I did the video of like fun tricks you can do, like the tactical hug and stuff that people still don't understand. Like I still go to tournaments and I'll run in on someone that, like, I don't want to be able to shoot, right? In a situation where there's no other enemies nearby that are even worth having to deal with in melee. Like, they can go melee me if they want, but the position I'm standing in, once they're done that melee, they're going to be just staring in the open with no cover around them. And just a wall of dwarves with high piercing weapons on the other side ready to kill them. So you create little puzzles and conundrums for your opponent to have to deal with. Yeah, but that's squig bombs. That's how they work. Tactical hug is huge. It's one of my favorite things to do with the dozers. Like, that dozer is incredible for tactical hugs. You put someone in a place where if they kill you and then they're just standing in the open, they're done. That's honestly why I think some raptors might be really good. The idea of being able to, like, boost someone and then to pull them back at you. I need to really look at the raptor kill team rules, because I think there's a world where you can charge someone, pick them up in the process, and then pull them back to you. So that if they decide to, like, really try to kill you, you can kind of just be like, yeah, you're in my side. And I have all these things standing next to you that are just, like, outright gonna murder you. Because they really are just the Felgor with jetpacks. How's everyone doing now? Dead quiet in stream for the first couple hours. This is an Exorcist from Sisters of Battle. It is extremely detailed. It is extremely obnoxious. I'm painting it for a commission. We're working up most of, like, the flat and basics, like the metallics right now. I don't know how many more flats I have to build up, though. I think maybe might have to build something up with Leviathan in the cockpit area. Hopefully you're all doing alright. I'm feeling pretty good. I got my first 90 points in a tournament. Granted, it was into a meme list. Our matchup was not exactly something that should have occurred. It just happened to be that way due to the fact that we were an odd number, and I think the buys messed with stuff. Would I blow your mind, Dark B Andy, if suddenly I pulled a cake knife out and we cut this thing clean in half and it was actually cake? I'm just very gently holding the frickin' specialized, relatively hard frickin' icing on it. Surprise, it's actually cake. I forgot to do the bottom of the pipes on these. I mean, that's your prerogative, Andy Ackerman. No kink shaming here. Treads, other bottom of the pipes, back to the other one for that pipe bottom stuff. Hit up the Leviathan Blue. And both of these tanks will be kind of prepped for shaders, washes, contrasts, all that stuff. Try to push the detail a bit. Aaron's messaging me more about like thought process on unit choices and things. He wants to like meet up randomly at like evenings to play some games. That way he can, in his own words, eventually get to go into tournaments. Just like we used to back in 5th. That's what he wants to get around. He wants to start doing the thing I do where I know offhand that my Terminator brick is 36 attacks when I'm within 12. And every one Terminator down that had a bolt gun is a -4. I keep all my dice in stacks of 5. That way I can pull the number quickly. Aaron seems to be in the mind state of, like, here's my game plan, I'm just going to do it. Or is he still, like, on the cusp of not making the right decision? Like, I don't know. It sounded like he was doing okay knowing where to go. Yeah, I think he could, honestly, with his Necrons and enough, like a few games under his belt, maybe even a test run on an actual clock. I think he would he'd be very easily ready for actual tournament play. Which the one I'm thinking is actually in June. Or should be in June. It's not up yet. Dude, clock would run out bot of 2 into the 4-mans, definitely. Might take Jack a bit before he gets to a place where he starts doing it more flow-based as opposed to the hard indecision. Because, man, once you know what you're doing, you go. I was a little peeved at this last tournament, though. There was a guy who was like, my first round was, he was like, I'm using a clock. It's more for both of us to have the amount of time we need to score. And I was like, yeah, it's perfectly fine, man. And we were going, and I was keeping track of the clock. I was going back and forth because, like, I would roll all my attacks, and I'd be like, all right, you got to make 15 saves, and then I would tap the clock to move to his saves and stuff like that, and then tap it back when he was done, and then I would continue, and it was just us going back and forth that way, and I was like, this is cool. And then turn 2, he took the clock from the middle of the table and put it on his side, and proceeded to, like, not tap it that much in situations. So I don't know if he was passively trying to figure out a way to, like, stall me by basically slowing down his saves, but then not clicking over to his saves. Because at some point when we were, like, 15 minutes away from the end of the overall round, my thing beeped. I don't know if he didn't know about, like, how the clock actually works and just assumed that clock on your turn just stayed on you until the next turn. But there was no way in hell. I was out and he still had 20 minutes to play at the end of that. There was no way in hell. Yeah, I heard Max was tabled by turn 2 or 1 when Aaron was on his team. Jesus Christ. New paint scheme, new codex. Same problem. Different problem. Oh, Jesus. Did you guys have to figure out his rules? Remember we had to do that with Grimbaldus. When Jack's calling you on your rules, that's brutal. Yeah, I already had a moment where he reactive disembarked from a vehicle right in front of Jack's flamers and then just died. I mean, that's already a tough situation. Just being in a vehicle in front of people, but to pull yourself out in a situation where you're just going to get eaten alive. Ooh. All right, pipe's done. Let's get Leviathan Blue together. How can a World Eater problem be complicated? World Eaters are the this is what I'm gonna do, and that's about it. Team. Was he not getting key targets, or I guess you guys just weren't giving him key targets? Because, like, it's fine to have Death Guard as your backup. If the things that the Death Guard or the Necron are most scared of are now gone. Yeah. You gotta kind of play a little differently there, I imagine, where he has to not necessarily set up on the line, but set up to let the DG and stuff pull the people in, and then he just picks what he wants. I guess it depends on the total enemy list. Because, I mean, if you played well with Aaron, I mean, it's kind of the same problem, but in reverse. I mean, your army's just like Max's to a degree. It's rush down, single use. Yeah, so you countercharge, but he charges. So if he would have been more reliant on the countercharge, maybe that would have helped. Is what I'm saying, at least. I'm putting white roses back here for you in this shrine. Get this other one before I switch brushes. Yeah, either way, June, there is a convention. going to try to keep my eye out for the signups to go live. They currently are not live. I don't know if you'll be able to make it. It would be interesting to get Aaron to do it because it is up in Oaks, PA. Specifically, it would be on the 27th, most likely, is the tournament. Because they try to do it Saturday. And that is if they do it. They expanded it last year, so maybe they'll expand it again and try it again this year. Don't know if you'd be down to at least do the one day. It'd be interesting to try to get Aaron prepped and ready by then. Yeah, this is an RTT, so it's usually just a 1 day, 3 rounds. Up in Oaks, PA, where we would go for those conventions that I was doing. Last time I did it, there were like 32 slots, but a lot of people dropped, I guess, because they realized you had to pay to get into the tournament, or pay to get into the convention. I might be able to sort something out where we get extra guest tickets, since this is something I do with the editing job. This is the important one. We're just going to hit this whole thing with Leviathan. And then we'll paint the keys after. It would be difficult since it's in there's multiple different sections. And they all kind of work together. It's not like in its own hall. If you had those tickets, you'd basically be able to wander into all the other halls, most likely. So you'd still need like a 1 day. It wasn't expensive for a 1 day the last time I checked, but I mean, the convention here has gotten like really big, so I think they've upped the pricing. There's a lot of people that go to it. Let me see, buy tickets. Get tickets. A Saturday only pass is $70. So yeah, it's up there. So I might be able to talk to John and see if he's willing to grab like if we get close enough to it, if he's willing to try to grab like a guest pass for me and you guys. Specifically, he could be like, I need 2 Saturday passes and then a 3-day guest. Hell yeah. That could be kind of cool. And the last time I went, it wasn't like extreme. There was maybe like 2 people there I would consider who were like very avid competitive players. One of them was playing Custodes. One of them was playing actually 3. 2 of them were playing Tau. One of them was playing Custodes. These were like genuinely like really good lists designed for some pretty serious competition. Retaliation Cadre on one of them. The more general, I think, like, whatever that X amount of time goes by and then your super buffed Tal list was, he was rocking that, and he was getting hundreds on most of his games. The Custodes player, though, I think took it all at the end. That guy was ripping people apart. The Retaliation Cadre guy, though, I lost by a little bit to him at the end, and he took third. So I was in contest for third. I might have been able to get third had I known more about like what to do when my opponent concedes in like turn 3 or round 3. That would have been more impressive. No, yeah, they're good. There were a couple people who were like, I'm new to this, and I was like, oh shit. As I was standing there with my Infernal Lance, frickin' Chaos Knights, completely tuned to actually be a really good list, and I shredded them into non-existence. Oh, we need turquoise. That's right. I was gonna do turquoise padding on the backs of the seats. What up, Fiat? These things. 2 of them, same time. Because I like to challenge myself. Oh, phone call. Alright, BRB. There we go. Yep, and then on the side, I've been slowly building up off stream all of these. All of like the little fleshy, aggressive type stuff. Because once I get that done, that's going to be a massive chunk of this. Just like completed. I'm trying to conserve the foot soldiery people for stream because they are actually going to be really fun to paint on stream. Like the power armored soldiers. Turquoise seats are going to be sick. Yeah, super happy with the new Defiler model. I think it's going to fit the aesthetic more, especially with the Forge Fiends and stuff. I think I only want one, though. If they're giant base, I'm thinking I only really need one. Because it does look really close to what my Thousand Suns one that I built looked like. Which means I just need to paint an Emperor's Children one. Get some stuff done past the flats now. Although, no, hang on. Before I keep moving on and forgetting, because that's happened a few times, they represent stuff that's, like, on a field. Fiat. So, like, how do I show this? Hang on. See if I can find a picture. I take so many pictures for like my battle reports that I post just randomly in places, and I just never remember to post them half the time. Ah, here we go. Okay. There we go. Fade. This was games I was playing with my buddies. So when you're on a table surface and you've got like this terrain and stuff going, this kind of like blocks vision. There's all these rules built into how all of this goes. You have objective markers that are placed in specific ways. You have specific areas you can set up in. Right? So it's played kind of back and forth turns between you and an opponent. You get to make a bunch of different decisions in a very specific sequence. Everything has to move. Everything has to, or that can, or that you want to, rather, can shoot. And then it goes into charging into things and then fighting those things charged. Points are scored just in that process. and then it goes to the other opponent who gets to do the same thing. There's a lot of nuance built into that, but then with the models itself, like, it represents a thing on the table, right? So, like, this can't just be like, I'm going to go over here because this thing's blocking it. This thing will have to move beforehand kind of situation, specifically because these are vehicles. People can usually run past that type of stuff. And then distances are actually measured from the bases or the hulls to see, like, oh, I can see to here, and this is the distance, and my gun is, you know, X range, which is way past where this is, and so, like, I can shoot, and but because you're, like, because nothing on my tank here can see everything on your base and frame, you'll get cover. Like, it's just a lot of back and forth of the situation that is currently in existence for the action, to then roll a bunch of dice to see the result of that action, to see what you do, whether it's enough to get a kill or to achieve, like, a goal you were aiming for, to, like, bracket something, or just put enough wounds on for later. And then, you know, going down the line and doing it, which actually requires a lot of sequencing, because if this thing could kill this, but then this thing might kill this, it might be better to go with the could, like, have a good chance, like an 80% chance to kill it, rather than, like, the 40% chance, and then waste this when, you know, there's other things around it that might be better to deal with. So decision making is key, which among our friend group currently isn't the best. There's still a few people who don't have, like, a full grasp on how to, like, interact in that way, that because it overwhelms. There's so many options, so many things you can do, that for a lot of people, they're like, I could do that, but then I could do this, and then I could do this, but then you could do that, and it, like, it gets crazy in situations where you break it down to, like, a more normal state. You almost don't care. Like, if you have to do something for points, you're gonna do it. You can try to find the best place to stand to do it. You can try to find the best positionings to do it. And that's it. And if you can't do that, then, I mean, either choose in that moment to then not do the mission to get the points, or just be like, oh, well, I lose those units next. It's a lot, though. What do we want to do? We want to do... Oh, I know what we were doing. We were doing the thing I keep forgetting about. The headlamps. We're going to start them with white, because I think I'm going to hit them with a blue contrast, and then hit that with Ard Coat, so it looks like just a blue lens. But yeah, it's a lot, man. I just did a tournament for it. It was fun. No, I got 8th out of 19. So a little bit better than halfway, which is way better than I've been doing. But this is mostly because I've decided against using a meme list and actually played a tournament list. A list that has been tried and tested by a lot of people to actually do well in tournaments. One that I was debating doing before it became good in tournaments. I mostly will win the local kill team tournaments. It's a smaller scale version of what we play. Same models, not tanks though. But those I usually get first, and I've got a couple first place trophies. I actually got this thing. That was from my last first place victory. But yeah, Aaron's trying to get like weekday games in. Like that's how crazy he's getting with it. He was talking to me about how he'd go in like early to work on some days and then leave early. This tank is pretty much done, but I also noticed when I was doing it that I completely forgot the headlights. It can. It depends. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wants to get up to speed mostly. I told him 11th edition's probably coming, but it would be good to probably like cycle up. Get him at least up to speed in 10th, because 11th will most likely just iterate on it. No, yeah. There's a chance I might just swing down to the store at some point this week. I might try to get a game in Friday or something. Let me get these guys up and running. You playing basketball on that tank top, Fiat? Yeah, I feel like a lot of the base rules are gonna be the same. The hope is that the expansion is on terrain and terrain interaction, and then maybe they fix aircrafts, which they won't, which we're all very aware of. They're gonna fix them by making them even more unplayable. Yes, that's how you fix them. Keep pushing them for a very long time. Get to the point where I've seen so many people buy Helldrakes out of the store near me because of how cool they think they are, and then just be like, bam, unplayable. That won't piss anyone off. So wait, what other things? It was the Flying Cannon S and one more squad of the Shield Bearers. That's what you got? Well, not squad necessarily, but expansion to the squad you already had. Yeah. 11th edition, aircraft are only an ability. You have to own and have painted the aircraft to use them, but that you don't actually put them on the field. You simply, once in a while, roll a dice to see if they do something on the field and then vanish again. Oh yeah, the Zeph leg. I'm gonna have to paint that separate. Try to get the angle right for the blue. Although, yeah, no, I haven't started painting them, so I have to keep off painting those. I should be able to prime it after attaching it. Yeah, this is most likely going to take one more day. Because I can't go late on stream today. I got people I got to pick up. Once these are done, we got the cannon ones to do. Then we got the rhino. By then, hopefully all the ones I'm painting off stream will be done. And we'll finally be able to cut into most likely some characters. Like, I kind of really want to paint. I sort of, I primed over the stuff you had already done. I really want to paint the Harlequin and the other one. I got some ideas. I might try to use like a fine pen to just do like a ton of frickin' Harlequin style checkerboarding. Oh, nice. Good job, J. Peacock. All right, let's get into some of the washes. Or rather, the shaders. Dragunov shade on everything that is bolt gun metal. There's a mild chance I need to get more. Love Dragunov shade. To dull it a little. Get the blues in the shadows. Underpipes. Horn exhausts. I'm technically saving the entirety of the cherubs for last, including a lot of their chains and pipes. Cherubs are annoying, man. I hate them. I hate the little bastards. Playing more Battlefield tonight, Fiat. Oh no, he may be gone. Yeah, there he is. Oh geez, the caves. I try, man. Step 1, establish the vibes. Step 2, carry the vibes. Second round of shade. I might actually have to buy more shade. This is running out much faster than I thought. It's perfectly fine. No one uses Dragunov shade, so I'll be able to find some. It's kind of the secret of these paints. You find paints you like that you think like, man, more people should be using these. But then you try not to tell more people to use them. That way you can have them. None of you live close. And the only ones who do would never use Dragunov. Or Drakenshaden. My brain is still stuck on freaking guns from Stalker. keep getting hits of the Kabasi and friggin' Potato and Megan. Oh, it's gonna be so delicious. Alright, good layer of Draken. Let's do... I kind of want to tone stuff. I want to see how it's going to end up looking. Main thing is the pipes. And I think we're going to do it with... I feel like Snakebite's the best bet. I feel like these pipes at least, Snakebite, and then maybe we get a second shade to do the tubes and the mini ones down here. I think that's the plan. Let me show you all the secret, the true secret of mini painting and toning metals to make them more interesting. Applying contrast to pre-established metallics creates really fun and interesting visual aesthetic shifts. Reasserting the tones to feel like all different metals. Because the shine and the shimmer still makes it through. So you don't really lose that metallic. You just sort of create a whole new metal. It's the entire basis behind contrast over metallic, to try to create interesting colors and schemes. Paint all the missile tips at a different time. It's color, bro. Color theory. The way color works with different opacities. Fun layer buildups. Snakebite contrast over top of usually like the more silvery metallics tends to look like a really good brass. But over top of gold, it pushes the orange part of it a little bit more. Makes it really fun looking. What's good here is on this little back organ thing, it adds a little bit of depth to it. Whereas if you just left it pure gold, even if you hit it with shader, it just wouldn't be enough. You'd lose a lot of visual aesthetic. But we're going to try to two-tone this. We're going to do this for the organ pipes, and we might choose either a darker or lighter contrast to push the trumpets and mini organ. Going to apply the teachings of how to paint metallics to your developing of the man cave functions for your stream. It's all about that focal point. Make it interesting looking, then dull everything else down. That's the true secret. It's my Bruce Banner always angry secret. Pick one thing that matters, focus on it, everything else only care a little bit. Like, the cockpit in this vehicle is going to be crazy looking. The rest of the vehicle, I'm going to try to keep it smoothed out. I'm try to fix up a bunch of the, like, mispaint areas. And past that, I'm not going to try to push it too much. Distract from the rest of the vehicle. Thinking we might multicolor the missiles. Like, some of them will be red, but then we might pick different colors for maybe like the micro missiles or something. Just give it a little bit more interest. I've been doing blue, I think, for most of my missile heads, so maybe just red missiles and blue missiles back here. back angles. Alright. Get this one up to date. I'm still surprised you're trying to build those things in After Effects. There's got to be a better way. Different programs. Then again, I'm on the constant lookout for an editing program where I can kind of, like, more easily sort of 3D camera control things. And the last I checked when I was getting used to DaVinci's Resolve was able to do it. But, like, it took forever to render anything because I didn't have the full version, so it wasn't, like, DLSS-based rendering. I thought it'd be so cool if I could set up, like, scenes involving all the things I've made to be able to, like, control the camera in it. Like it's a live situation, even though it's, like, 3D. I don't know. Does it render video properly in Blender then? Because that's kind of my thing. Is like with the character that I do in my YouTube videos, I've made physically like some B-roll that feels like that, but I don't like the idea of having to constantly use that B-roll. If I could just make like a couple scenes that are actually fully 3D with like kicked back, you know, back walls and stuff, then I can actually move the camera around, change focal points so the background blurs differently, and maybe the foreground elements blur differently. Occasionally toss some like fun elements of like people walking by who are just out of focus or changing in focus depending on situation. Just to make it feel organic. Might have to take a look at it. Because if that could speed up the things I'm looking for in my video editing, I might actually start making more videos randomly. Which is always me just overshooting what's probably needed. I mean, within the scene of game like tabletop and Warhammer style YouTube videos, most of it's just people like talking over top of PowerPoints. I feel like I'm just over zealously trying to create something that's way too intricate for what it needs to be. But at the same time, it's like, that's what I want. Like, if you're gonna do something, do it to stand out. Don't just dive on into everyone doing the same thing where they've got like the tiny little freaking Logitech webcam in the corner as a PowerPoint plays in the background and they just talk about how much they hate something. So what are you going to do when you're done leveling all your guns? You're just going to try to play? You're going to try to find like a group? You're going to try to get into like a more competitive scene? Is there even a competitive scene with Battlefield anymore? My one buddy used to play it heavily with like an actual group that practiced for like events and things. I don't know. I haven't seen it with the new one. I feel like the new one just hyper focused on trying to get in the COD crowd and then called it a day. Talked about their numbers being ridiculous when they first released and then stopped talking about their numbers after Arc Raiders came out. Fix this. Well, it's not that you can't like expect them to be like, all right, we're adding competitive like matchmaking and stuff. You have to kind of just look for specific clan tag groups and see if any of them kind of like fit what you're doing. Join up, because those guys will like organize scrims and stuff. Do they have private servers yet? Or like private games, or is it all just server rotation still? All right, do we go darker or lighter for the mini organs and the horns? I think we go darker. Where's my Garagax? Don't give me hope, Fiat. We've been here before. Talking about gigantic updates. Yeah, because a Battlefield has private lobbies, there should be clans that play, and then you can easily find someone. And actually play in like a more scrim situation. Because that's the thing. That's the thing. Every time I watch Battlefield 6, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to buy this. And it's literally just because it's just everyone for themselves. It doesn't have the elements that like a lot of the games in that vein that I've enjoyed in the past have. Of like the reason you want to have other players and the reason you need to have people working together. It's just gone. It could be there, but like it's just not there. Because there's almost no reason for it. That's why I usually prefer Hell Let Loose. Because, like, that game, oh, having teammates is king. Like, proper teammates. There's a whole different world where, like, you're getting pushed on by enemy units. You're kind of holding them back. They're not rushing you necessarily. Your squad lead is yelling at the command in chat about the oncoming enemy wave that's trying to break in from, like, the northwestern side, giving them quadrant, like, locations and stuff. Your heavy gunner's going. You're trying to help them out, feeding them ammo and stuff. And then the sniper shot rings out, taking him out, and you're just like, no. And then the mortars come. And you get that moment of like, we did it. Knowing full well that those mortars are actually, it's not like some games where those mortars are just like called in necessarily. They do have that. But like the mortars coming in are actually being shot like by allied players into those areas. It's just, it's such a good feeling. I think I've seen Spellcaster Chronicles. Was that the one? Was that the one that was kind of like? No, there was a different one that designed itself to be kind of Fortnite-y, but with like very big spells. That one vanished. The launch of that was one of the worst things I've ever seen a company do to their IP. They spent all that time. This happened when the Unreal Store became a thing. And what ended up happening was there were all those games that were trying to come out on Steam, and they had like early access. You could buy in, blah, 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 blah. And then the Epic Store came out and was like, come to us and we'll give you a better cut. So all those game companies that had games on Steam were like, yeah, we're not going to launch on Steam anymore. We're going to, if you email us your Steam account name and info, we'll give you the code to be able to get it on Unreal. But we're moving over to Unreal, and that's when Steam changed their rules to be like, look, you can't advertise your game on our system and then sell it to people, but then not actually release it. That's a dick move. Sandy Ackerman chucking stuff at me. Why am I not hearing any of my alerts? Did this whole thing to readjust how I hear my alerts. Still not hearing them. When did he send this to me? It doesn't say. No. Oh, 1 hour ago. Alright. Metal retoned. Now we do metal shading, which is what we do when we don't want the peaks to change, but we're completely cool with getting more detail in there. And then we're probably gonna have to call it because I am getting close to needing to do stuff. Let me take a look at your game. Spellcaster Chronicles. Oh no, Quantic Dream. Oh no. Oh no, I've seen this. I don't know about this. Because you're not actually, to my understanding, you're not actually like playing. You're more being things that like sort of put stuff into play like an RTS as you hover around. And then you like gain power by like helping and killing creeps. And then that power lets you summon like larger things. But like you're not, let me mute this. You're not like actually playing. It's how do I describe this? So they make it look like you are because they're like, "Oh, look at you in the field. You're creating a wall." That wall's being created to stop the creeps from getting to your base. And so like characters have different powers. I think you pick like a god and then have access to like a skill tree and then pick skills that you're going to be going in. But like Quantic Dream, the only other thing they've really got is Dustborn, but I'm pretty sure Quantic Dream had like a bunch of other console only games that didn't really do that well. I don't know, man. Maybe it'll end up being good, but like when I first saw it, my first thought was, "Oh, yes, finally. We're back in action." Freaking gigantic style. And then I saw the gameplay loop. Like I started really looking at the trailer and I was like, "Oh no. This is going to be very weird for people." Like it looks like it's almost designed for mobile since you don't actually interact that much. It's more that you like tell stuff to do things and then you watch the results. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe they go to a different direction, but like get the shader in the recess here, here, because the recess shadows are worth getting the shader on them. Actually throw them on the cherubs too. Cherubs. The little baby ones over here. On the skull. On the cherubs. Reassess this one a little. I didn't do the skull on this one. Okay. And then I was going to do the inlay here. This was a key one. Yes. These relief statues. And we'll do the actual shrine on the platform. Also, the incense ball that I actually painted. This shrine. Boom. Let's go around here, do the tiny recess statues. Flag capture game? What are you talking about? Wait, you talking about like an event for Battlefield or a whole new game? Or are you about to reveal to me that Highguard was funded by a singer and you want to play Highguard? I mean, you might. I don't want to be the guy who's like, everyone hates Highguard. There's gonna be people who like it, and then that's just a thing. I'm not one of them, and I don't know. Last Flag? Night Street? What's their heritage? This is the only game they've got coming. Super Fortnite-y. Big maps. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. Looks a little like Deadlock. I mean, maybe. It could be. It could be. It could be him. There's elements I see where I'm like, yeah, all right. The worry is with like no pedigree behind the company that I know of. I'd have to look into it. Then it's going to come down to it's like a first iteration into the field of gaming, which, I mean, it's up in the air whether it's good or not. I mean, it can't really just preemptively consider someone bad that you've never seen the work of. I'm a little sad that if it just focuses on capture the flag, I love nuanced frickin' back and forth. Like the whole thing with the Guardians and stuff from Gigantic, I love that because Hawken had it. Hawken had an element of it where you had to like go capture energy, then get it back to your base. And if you ever got it back to your base and got to X amount of energy, your base would shoot the enemy base for big damage. If you got to like certain numbers. I kind of like, I enjoy that, where there's like an extra layer, like just past everything. Because I remember playing that, and I would play like little fast moving, like strike and fade type armor. and I would find myself in positions near the enemy base, and when I saw people going in to like hand the stuff in, I would just like pop out, shred them super fast, steal all their stuff, and leave. Like, I just love being able to play those roles, where it's not just like singular role of, I'm gonna defend, I'm going to offend, done. That's why Gigantic was fun, because there were elements to it where you could take on so many different roles, fill so many different things that need to happen. Well, you remember the interviews, though, right, for Gigantic, where they talked about the melee in Gigantic, and a lot of people were bringing up that it felt really good, and it's because it's, like, really hard in a game to, like, make melee feel good. So games like these will walk away from melee because they know it's not going to feel great. And then they just hyper-focus on range, because range is easier for server information to deal with. But, like, Gigantic was one of the first games in its variety that I played where not only was melee really, like, tightly controlled in a way, although, of course, I mean, there were ways around it, ways to trick it and cheat it that some of the better teams were doing with, like, the Margrave slam cancel and stuff like that. There we go. But the iframes, like, when I played, when they added that, like, dodge specific character. Yeah, but they could fix that. That was the problem. They could have fixed it, but, I mean, of course, everything was falling apart by that point. But what was it? I can never remember his name. It was the guy that eats the demon fruits and stuff, and was one of the few people who had curse. He had like 3 dodges he could do, and then he had built-in like ability dodges as well. So you just had so many iframe dodge type systems you could use with him, where you were just bouncing back and forth like untouchable. Yeah, I loved Ramsey as a tank. I played Margrave all the time. I wanted to play Ramsey. I build him as a tank, just be untouchable. I remember when I was fighting the team, that like one main team that everyone knew from the competitive, where it was like Beckett and Margrave, and it was that combo of the Margrave stun into the Beckett AoE, and just there's that whole constant thing. And I remember seeing the Margrave slam, Ramsey dodging it, seeing the Beckett AoE, Ramsey dodging it, getting the whole way out of it, and just getting right back into the fight. And they just wasted everything for 0 damage. I loved Ramsey. I loved Ramsey so much. The level of obnoxious he brought to the table. If you knew timings and could see stuff happening. He was so good. I still remember live on stream. Let me find my Garagax again. I remember live on stream because we were doing that one tournament. And I was dueling Margrave in the middle. I think they gapped the iframes enough that the server wasn't as much of an issue. Because the games we got into were server side, and server side is always a bit better than peer-to-peer. Because once you go peer-to-peer, that's when you get into the realm of like shooter priority. Like, it's weird. Where the hell did my Garagax go? I just put it... There it is. And there was like, I remember we were doing the tournament, and it was against that team. This wasn't when I was playing Ramsey. That was like random, just running into them in competitive, in just general matchmaking. And the key thing I remember is I was fighting their Margrave in middle. He was barely touching me. We were trying a thing with Margrave and Ashlyn, and I think one other character, where I was able to go to like ridiculous levels of armor. So I'm just sitting there like not taking damage. And then Trip comes in. The person on their team who like mained Trip and was really well known for playing Trip, I heard the lightning sound, spun my camera to see her, and then did the frickin' Margrave counter and countered her mid-kick. And got like super armor out of it, because you always get like the plus 50 extra armor on top of it for countering the person. So I was just like, blow! And just immediately had way too much armor. That fight took, I swear to God, 10 minutes. Just the first opening fight of the game. We didn't stop fighting for like straight 10 minutes. It was the craziest back and forth of like our Wu main like hitting and fading, trying to pull people off of me long enough for like any damage that I did take to get healed. Our healer was just like, if you went for our healer, you were getting screwed because you were right next to like Ashlyn and everyone, and then you would just get hosed. So like their whole team had to go to our healer to kill it, but if they did, then Ion Margrave would just peel. Peel and counter. It was so fun. Okay then. Good distance today. Good shading. We'll probably have to dry brush a lighter gold on certain parts to pop it. We're going to have to do, of course, the lighter turquoise on the backs of the seats. We're going to have to actually detail the keyboards in there. We're going to do white keys. It'll be good. A lot of correctives. Gotta do the fires. I love Charnock. Charnock was my comfort character. He was so easy to play. And then I'd go over to like Voden if I actually wanted to try. Something was so wrong with the launch. I don't know what, well, the relaunch. I don't know what it was, but I was there for the beta. I luckily got into the beta. Actually, an old friend of mine who played the game for a total of 10 minutes got a beta invite for the relaunch. I don't know what that was. And I remember playing Voden, and I was super accurate. Like, I would let go, the arrow would hit, it just worked. And then I remember them full launching the game, and I could barely hit anything with Voden anymore. I don't know what they changed. But it was even more than that. Like, if you were in, I think I saw you in the closed beta. I think I ran into Steve, I know that. But I think I ran into you, too. And, like, it was great, because, like, the queues were instant. There were no issues, disconnect problems, weird latency things. Like, the game was perfect. And then the full launch kicked it back to the exact moment before the original thing ended. Like, if you remember, just before Gigantic ended, it was 2-hour-long queues because the queue system would break. The hit accuracy and disconnects were getting really bad. Like, it just was very weird. And that was the night and day between the closed and open. And I think it was just the server load. Like, they must have had, like, one server in the office for every game. I don't know what was going on. but it was so beautifully smooth. And then open happened, and it was just like, God damn it. It sucks so much. Because I know in the closed beta, I landed a tier 3 Voden ult on 3 people and then just popped them in the heads because they couldn't move. And that was it. Like, that was the end of it. And then when the full release happened, I tried the same thing. And literally, people not moving full charge Voden shots couldn't hit them. And I don't understand it. So weird. Either way, I gotta start getting ready to head out and pick my sister up from work. This is where we're at. We have to do the script, some more details like the little wax signature stuff, wax signs. We got to do the missiles. We have to actually spend the time to do the cherubs. There's a mild chance I'm gonna just do the cherubs off stream, or at least get them prepped off stream, so that I don't have to care too much about it. Although I do have all of these other things over here that I might just keep working on off stream and just go with that. The flames, a lot of the gold fixes, and then we really have to get into the areas where like some gold just kind of happened to hit the surface of the vehicle, where we have to just get more Sigvald Burgundy down on it and let it dry. Fix it up a bit. And then do Sigvald around some of the rivets. Pull the gold back away from them. But yeah, so far so good. And then 3 of the big tanks are done. The follow-up tanks are still going to be rough. I mean, don't get me wrong. The detail on the wraparounds on them is still really rough. But the fact that you don't have like the ridiculous tops like these, and the flamethrower with the stained glass window, which is actually a stained glass window that I had to paint. Once we're past that, it's like so much better. So much better. And then hopefully I can get all this done before the defilers are pre-ordered and released, so I can paint my defiler once I get it. That'll be fun. Probably see you guys tomorrow if you're around. Either way, I should be going live tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. I'll talk to you more, Ren, about the tournament up in Oaks when it gets closer, because we are going to want to keep an eye out for it, because I swear to God it filled up within a day of it going live the last time. And yeah, till then, later bitches.